So in this one we're going to be recreating this track by Ben Delay. It's a remix by Mark Lower, and here it is. And this is my remake. So the resources for this tutorial, you can get them from my SoundCloud page. So that's soundcloud.com/deepscale. If you just click on playlists, and then if you see here, the very first thing that comes up is my Deepscale samples and resources, and I'll add it in there, and that's got all my other resources from my other tutorials on YouTube. So basically, just to let you know, this track is actually in C# minor. So we'll be working through that and having a look at the various elements, and then maybe having a look at a few of the the chords and how it's sort of put together musically. So the very first thing that I did to recreate this was I created the kicks. So nothing special there, just a kick sample, and then I created the clap snares. If you've watched any of my other tutorials, like the drum programming one, you'll know that what I usually do to create these snares, and what I think most people are doing, is actually using a clap and a snare layered together. So what we have here is we have one layer. I'll just take all the effects off that so you can hear it dry. So we have our snare, and then on top of that we have a clap. So it gives it a bit of bite. So those two together, whoops, yeah, and then we add some effects. Well, I added some EQ to begin with, just boosted the low end, and added 2 reverbs actually, because if we listen to the original, we'll actually listen to the part of the track that hasn't got the vocal in. Yeah, you can see it's got loads of reverb on it. It's very nice actually, but yeah, I've used 2 reverbs on this to give it that sort of delay reverb effect. I mean, a reverb is actually a type of delay, but yeah, you can hear that there's quite some pretty heavy reverb in the original, so I've tried to recreate that here. So that's the basics of the drums there. The next thing I've done is actually I've programmed in the bass line. Now the patch that I've used for this bass line, I've actually taken from one of my other tutorials. So if you go onto here, onto YouTube, and you actually go to my Deepscale page, and you just, I don't know why I can't see my videos. Obviously don't know how to use YouTube very well, even though I'm always on it. Okay, let's not worry about that. Well, if you actually go to my page and you find my new disco, hang on a minute, there we go. Yeah, you have to click on the name down there. So if you just go to my videos here, you'll see that I've actually, one of the first ones I did was a bassline tutorial. So it's that one there. Did it 5 months ago. So on that tutorial, I actually gave the resource for that bassline, and I've uploaded it here. So you can get it from bassline, that one there. So what I did as well is actually tweaked that patch, and I've actually added some key tracking and velocity tracking, so that the harder I hit the key on that synth, I'll just show you. Oops, bassline. So I select that. So just go to the right octave. So if I press the key gently, the filter stays closed. If I hit it, it goes hard. And the reason that's important is because I think that's the effect that Mark Lowe is using in his bass line. So let's have a listen. We'll actually listen to the track without the vocal. Oh no, actually that hasn't got the bass line in, sorry. So let's just listen to the bass line in this. So yeah, you can see that, you can sort of hear that sometimes the filter is opening and closing, and that's giving a different dynamic quality to the bass line notes. So What I did was actually just start to program in the notes. I usually start with the bass line because that helps me to work out the key signature of the track, and then it also helps me to program in the pads later on, any sort of harmony and things like that. So the very first thing he does is he starts on this A note, and basically we just have a listen, and there's a little trick that he does which is used quite commonly, and it's good to be able to recognize so that you can realize and then use it in recreations or your own tracks, whatever. So you can hear that dun 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 dun. It's like a real funky sort of twist to it. Well, what that is that's actually a note being played. So it's the A note being played, and it goes up an octave. And it happens on quite a few tracks actually, and it's a really good little trick to actually give some funk to it without destroying the progression, destroying the musical element of the progression, because what he's doing is and then he's after he's going back to that A, he's dropping down to another note. So let me just so what he's doing is he's going through A, it's a shame my keyboard isn't actually tracking what's on the screen, I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So he's got the A, and then he's going down to this F sharp, and then he's going down to C sharp. So basically what's happening there is there's two chords being played, and the first chord that is being played is the F sharp minor. So in the bass, so if you've watched any of my other tutorials, we go over a bit of sort of bass theory, and the bass theory is that you basically take a chord and then you pluck either the root note out of it, or the seventh of the chord, and then you actually use them to program in the bass. So what's happening is he's actually playing an F sharp minor chord, and then he's going down to a C sharp minor chord later on, but he's only playing the actual root note of those. So he's hovering around those two root notes, which is the F sharp minor and then the C sharp minor. And so basically it's in a C sharp minor, but he's using the so he's using the fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's using the fourth of the scale and the first of the scale. But what he's doing is he's actually using the fourth of the scale, but on the on a different octave. So basically that's what's happening with that bass line. I'll just take out the vocal and the arp that I've done. So quite simple. So it's the right bassline patch. Using, as to sort of sum up what this bassline is, it's two chords that he's using in that, and he's using this octave apart trick to actually give it some funk. Okay, so that's the bass line. Moving on from the bass line, we have the pads. And if you listen to the original, what we'll do is actually move over to this other section here, because it's got just the pads on it. So what he's doing here is, we sort of can see that the original chords that we used in the bass line, and so what I did is start to play around with those chords and see would they work on the pads as well. So by the way, when I say that he's using chords on the bass line, he's not actually using the chords, he's using the notes from the chords, but the chord is being implied based upon how the bass line is played. So I just find it easier to start with the bass line and then work out the chords, because it gives me some definite knowledge to work with. It's much easier to program in a bass and be correct than it is to program in the chords. Basically what's happening in the chords is that I started to play around with the two chords that he's using in the bass, which is the F sharp minor. So I'll just go back to my track. So just go back to my track here. So we've got F oh, got F sharp minor. Oh, that's too low. Yeah. So yeah, so I know that he's using these two chords. So I played around with these chords and got the feel of the chords right before I then worked out if if he's using any inversions, etc. So what I found was what I seem to feel is going on is that basically that's the chord sequence. So it's the F sharp minor down to the C sharp minor. But what's actually happening, I'll just show you. So he's actually reversed it the other way around. So in the bass line, it's F sharp minor down to C sharp minor. But then with this, he's actually going the other way around. He's actually going C sharp minor down to F sharp minor. So he's doing the same as in the bass, same chords in the bass, but the other way around, which is it's interesting because it works pretty well. So C sharp minor down to F sharp minor. Okay, and then what he's done above and beyond that is he's actually inverted. Some of these. He's actually added some extra notes in. So, for example, he's added an E in on that F sharp minor. He's added an extra E in. I think that makes that a 7th chord. And then on the C sharp minor, so on the C sharp minor, he's actually added in a G sharp on that at the root note of that. So he's added. So it's like an inverted chord with an extra upper G, or it's just a G sharp with an extra bass note in. So yeah, basically the chord sequence is that 1 down to the 4th degree of the scale, but in the octave below. So with regards to the synth on this, obviously the resources for this will be on my SoundCloud. This was fairly easy to program in. This one, it was just one oscillator, one of these oscillators with multiple voices on it, and then I just detuned it, and then I just put an envelope over it. Okay, so then that with the bass line, the kicks and the snares. And then the final thing is this Arp sequence is here, and usually what happens with Arps is that the pads are taken and then dropped into the Arp sequence, and then the Arp is set up and then some sort of basic sound. So you can see here, let's listen to the original. So on the original, it sounds slightly different. I haven't got it perfect because I don't know the arpeggiator settings that are being used. Probably take a long time to work it out. I don't know whether he's using one of the presets from Ableton. I don't know whether Mark Lowe even uses Ableton. So I haven't done it perfectly, but that's the general idea. To get the feel of it, it's musically it's the pads that are underneath, and it's the original chords from the pads, and then it's just an arpeggiator sort of shoved in front. So that's that. So the pads and the Arp. And then the final thing was obviously the vocal. I recognised the vocal when I was searching through my samples the other day, and it's this Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine. It's worth saying, I think that they got this Alexandra Prince to actually do a cover version of that, so mine's the original. Obviously I don't have that cover version, but they're very similar. So there we go, that's it. So this will be uploaded. Hopefully this was helpful. I quite often just try and sit down and pull together other people's tracks because it helps me learn a bit about synthesis, a bit about music theory. It's really good, so I just wanted to share this. Hopefully it'll be helpful. I will be doing a live streaming event in a few weeks. So you can get details about that from my Facebook page. Just go and look for Deep Scale. I'm on there, and yeah, just obviously, yeah, I'll post the details up about that on there. So I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot.